Cross-origin resource sharing, CORS, is a security feature of the browser to protect our web from cross-origin scripting attack. But sometimes an enterprise can convert a source's error if you don't configure it with the flexibility to adapt it to the different deploy environments. Let's take a look to CORS anatomy in this first video over this demo. CORS, as stated in Wikipedia, is a mechanism that allows restricted resources on a web page to be requested from another domain outside the domain from which the first resource was served. That's meaning that if a web page is loaded for example, my web.com, and the page using JavaScript or other client language made a call to another domain, for example, to access a service in other domain.com, the browser asks for permission for the other domain to get the information. One form to obtain permission is through CORS. To allow that the server needs to be configured with CORS. Not all CORS called in a browser are subject to the same rules. Let's see first what happens when the verbs of the cross-origin call is a get or head. After the page is requested and loaded, suppose that the coded client in the page made a get or head request to another server. In this case, the browser parses the request to see if there are any custom header there, for example, authorization header. If there are not custom header, the browser allows the call to the external server asking also for core permission. The server logs to its core policy and accepts or rejects the call. If the call is accepted, the resource is sent back to the browser to be used in the page. If it is rejected, error information will be created. Let's see now the previous case, but now we introduce a custom HTTP header in the get or head call from the browser. For example, authorization header is used. In this case, because a custom header is present, the browser sends a PREFLIGHT request using the verb option to request the server if they authorize to send the resource. The option PREFLIGHT has the protocol information about the real request. The server gets the information and uses it again his core policy. If the policy approves the request, a response with the right access control allow origin header is returned authorizing the real request. Then the browser sends the real request to the server and the server returns the information. If not, an error is produced in the browser. The core condition for execute a HTTP call is more complicated when a pause is used. Let's follow the sequence. At begin, the browser loads the original page from my web.com. After that, suppose that the client code begin a cross-domain request with a verb post. The browser takes the request and analyzes if it is a post. If it is a post, then the browser analyzes if the specific header content type has a standard value. If it is the case, the browser also analyzes if there are a custom header present in the original request. If all these conditions are fulfilled, the original post request is sent to the server. The server analyzes the request against the configured core policy, and if it is fulfilled, the resource requested is sent to the browser. If not, an error is thrown in the browser. If the post in the previous example does not fulfill the browser condition, then a PREFLIGHT request is sent to the server using the verb options. The PREFLIGHT, as in the previous example with GET, has the original protocol request information and asks the server is it authorized to send the real requested operation. If the server authorizes it, the original post is sent to the server and the resource requested is sent back to the browser. In other case, an error is generated in the browser. And last, for other verbs of the HTTP protocol as delete or put, the PREFLIGHT request option is always sent to the server, and after server's approval, the real request is sent to the server and the server returns the resources requested. If the server does not approve, an error is generated by the browser. Let's stay clear in one point. If the service has not configured to manage CORS, then a CORS request from the browser produces no response from the server and a cross-origin request from a browser fail. Let's see this in code. For do this demonstration, we need a service and a client program. In this case, we are using our program that we developed in the last video, and we are using the weather forecast controller. That is a controller that is by default when you created the template, and that is the method that we need to get through the call from the browser. We will use the standard template for creating a Blazor client application, and this template has a call that in this case is in the original is not a cross domain, but we modify the data for get the weather forecast from instead for the server that's the API that is created with the template, we're using get from the service that we previously mentioned. Let's see to these two programs to work and see what happens. Here we have our two applications running. This is the service. We call this method. As you can see, this address is different. That's this. The port is different. Then there are two different domains. And what happened with me made the call here. You see this stay loading, and nothing is respond from the API. That is why, because we get a CORS error. It's not because this program is not configured to get a CORS. Anytime that you may, and that is a very simple call, that is a get without any header, but because this is not configured for receive call, you get a access control allow origin that is not present, and you fail because the policy is not configured in demo. That is that we want to demonstrate. In the next video, we're working how to configure the server to receive these CORS from the browser, and how you can have different policies here configured. CORS allow the server to report to the browser if the resources is available to the given request. If the server is not configured to receive a CORS request, the server does not respond to the request and the request fails. CORS is a security feature embedded in the browser program, but CORS is not a security feature of the server. CORS only limits the browser call. You can call a server from, for example, Fiddler or Postman, and CORS does not activate in the server. You can find more information about our videos in www.avalonsoftware.com. If you consider this video was useful for you, please subscribe in our channel YouTube. Thank you, and see you in the next video.